All right, 3, 2, 1, let's get it. This morning I'm reading out of Earl Nightingale's book. This is Earl Nightingale. And I love buying used books because I like to see the inscriptions from other people. Like this, this one was written, it says in the front, to Mother with love and best wishes always, from Barry, Christmas 1969. And, used books are just like really fascinating for me because I like to see what other people highlighted and kind of envision, like, why did they highlight that certain area? It fills me with curiosity. And so this morning I set my timer for 15 minutes. And I just randomly, his sections in these books, they're like 1 or 2 pages. So they're kind of like daily affirmations. And so, like, if you're just getting into reading, that may be something that you kind of want to jump into, is little short books. Brian Eisenberg has a good book like that. They're only a couple of, I think I Swallowed an Elephant's the name of it. I think they're only a couple of pages long, each chapter. One that I really like is Kevin Kelly's Excellent Advice for Living. And these are just like short little snippets. And so, if you don't like to do a lot of reading, or if you're just kind of starting out, do something like that. One reason why I'm a fan of random reading is they're not huge time commitments. And so you could just set your timer. It's arbitrary. I say 15 minutes. Sometimes I get the meat of what I want to go with and what I want to write about and unpack in my soul in 5 minutes. Sometimes it's a little bit longer. And for those days where it's just not there at all, then I have thousands of recorded voice memos that I've left to myself, and I go back and listen to those. And something somewhere is going to spark something. But, the part of it is the continuous learning. Reading that 15 to 20 minutes is the consistency of that. But then also the other part of writing and reflecting. And I think you should always write longhand, long form. Those of you who look on my Instagram stories, you see I post what I write every single day. Most people DM me and say they cannot read anything that I write. And I'm like, me too. So a lot of times, man, I have to read around the words and then I can kind of catch a couple of words, and then I can form the sentence, and it kind of triggers a thought. I'm like, yeah, and I remember. But I have hundreds of legal pads in this trunk down below to my left here, those of you who are watching on video, that are full of my legal pads that I've been writing since 2017. The legal pads I really like because they don't have the front and back that I have to hold one side open while I write. I like the legal pad, and I have a little binder that I keep it on. That way it kind of serves as a table if I'm writing on the fly or don't have anything hard to write on. I like to write in my lap. So anyway, this morning I'm reading out of Earl Nightingale's book, and I want to read this to you because it's on self-discovery, and I think it's important, and I don't want to be all superficial with it or anything like that, but I want to read it to you for context, and then just kind of backfill it with my own story, how I relate to these things. So when I'm reading, I'm always looking to relate, to connect to something on here. So how does it connect to me? I don't ever want to get on here and spit something out just because I read it and I think it sounds intelligent. No, if I can't either relate to it because I've lived it or am living it, or it's something like it's a new challenge, very interesting, that I want to go live it and try it out for the day and apply it to my life, because continuous learning is one of the life skills that we have to develop. It's the basis of this podcast. Then it's for nothing. And so this is on self-discovery. It's on page 273 for those of you who have a 1969 book and are reading along with me. If not, I got you. So it's on self-knowledge, and the title of the chapter is You're Different. Now, you can also side piece, you can also check out these classics, man, through your local library. And you don't have to, maybe we need to do an episode on that, how to get your library card. And it's not your traditional library card. Like I like to go to the library and get physical books, but you can check out books digitally free of charge. And a lot of times you can request the books and they'll buy them for you. And that way you don't have to buy them. But, just it doesn't take much of an investment other than your time to become well learned. It doesn't take a lot of time. And this is why I preach all the time of random reading every single day. If you want to just stick with a book, that's cool. If you want to jump around a little bit like I do, I get in my seasons. Some days I like to stay with one book. Other days I like to, read from various books. I'm powering through the one thing, but I jump around. I'll come back to it in a couple of days. But some days as soon as I sat down this morning with my coffee, I walked the dogs, sat down, I just stared at my bookshelf, and this one just jumped out there at me and said, read this. So let me read this to you. This is toward the end of the chapter. Here's what Earl Nightingale writes. He said, finding the real selves, our real selves, let me say it like that, we usually keep buried is like prospecting for gold. It's not necessarily easy, but we don't mind the digging so much when we know the gold is really there. It's not like plowing barren ground. Riches are there, sometimes way down deep, but somewhere in all of us. It is not like plowing barren ground. Riches are there, somewhere way down deep, but somewhere in all of us. And unless a person can find his true self, he will never really know what it means to be truly fulfilled, to wake up in the morning eager for the day to begin, and to end reluctantly a day which has been filled with interest and challenge, which has taken some of the best he had to give. The most interesting journey a person can make is that of discovering himself. And that was the hook for me. When I read that, I'm like, man, the most interesting journey a person can make is that of discovering himself. And I can tell you this firsthand. The scariest, darkest, brightest, funnest, beautiful, complete I've ever felt is when I discovered myself, went on a journey to discover myself. And it's a constant journey. It's not something like, okay, ding, you're there. You're never going to arrive. And I think that's what's so intriguing, which is why I want to share it with you. So I say it's scary, it's dark, because there's some things, man, you got to confront. There's some things that you've been running from yourself for many, many years. I was a runner for years, and it wasn't until, which is the basis of this podcast, it wasn't until 2017 when I hit rock bottom. I was damn near checked out of here because I had lost all the material things. And so the material accolades and the relationships and the nice fancy stuff and all that, like I was bottomed out, man. And when you're stripped of all those things and you have to confront yourself, bro, that's gnarly. That is like some of the most scariest times that you'll be, because when you have nothing else to pacify yourself with and all you have is mano a mano, like, what's up, Marsh? Because you finally just like, it's like you hit the wall and you turn around and you're like, oh, I've been running from you for years. And that's what happened for me. And I bring this to you because I want you to discover yourself in a way that's on your terms. And you can do it bite-sized. It's not like you just got to go down this deep abyss. It will be a little scary at times because you get to digging. It's not superficial. And I like the fact that he said it's like prospecting for gold, because I can say this, I mean, just in high school classes or whatever, we talked about the gold rush back in the days. When people went to California to go mine for gold, I think my dad went he's not that old, but he went, just some little tour or something. But when people went out there in search for gold, first they heard the rumors of it and they heard the stories. Some of the stories were some people just struck it rich, but then there were other stories too, I'm sure, where there was tragedy, like people didn't make it. And so that's why I say, like, it's scary, and that really is a metaphor for your own life. And so when you're prospecting for gold, I mean, if it was evident, then everybody would just have a bunch of gold, and gold wouldn't be worth what it's worth today, I would imagine. And so it's the same thing for you. And so when you're discovering yourself, it really is like prospecting for gold. And he says it's not necessarily easy, but you don't mind the digging when you know the gold is really there. And see, what I found was interesting with that is, do you know there's really gold within you? And I don't want to sound like Mr. Motivational Speaker when saying that. I kind of like, when I was writing this down this morning, I was like, do you know there's gold within you? I mean, but really it is, man. Like, there are qualities and talents and skills that are uniquely yours. I think that's the name of his chapter, where he says you're different. And that's the first thing you got to embrace. Like, why is it we want what everybody else has? But see, somebody wants what you have. Somebody would give their left arm, to have what you have. And we're so fixated on eating out of the other dog's bowl. Like, we have the same opportunities. We have even probably better opportunities, but we don't take stock in those things. And I really like the fact that if you will turn, even though it's not going to be easy, and you give yourself some credit that, look, I don't know what's within me. I don't know what my real capabilities are. I can tell you surface level. Everything where you are right now is really on the surface. Once you get up in there and you realize, look, it's going to take some digging, but I don't mind putting in the effort. I don't mind putting in the work, because I have faith and belief that something deeper down inside of me is there. But if you think you're going to find it in a couple of hours, if you think you're going to find it in like 2 days, it don't happen that way. The richest minerals are found in the deepest depths of the earth. They are. They're not like just scrape it off the top, but that's what we do. We're like, man, I've been doing this for like 4 days, and life is just like kind of laughing at you. Like, this is a lifestyle. This is a journey. Like I said, it was me hitting rock bottom in 2017. I was like, bro, I gotta change. And it was picking up a book, reading for a little bit before work, and then writing word for word, because what was going on in my head, I didn't want to write that. So I had to borrow someone else's voice until I could get my own. But it was writing those things that enforced it. And then what happened is it began to change the channels. It began to change the way I started looking at things. And this is when I went on a journey of self-discovery. And it's a lot of digging. It's continuous digging. And there are things that I uncover about myself that aren't cool, aren't good. But that's the discovery part of it, man. But there's a lot of great things within me as well. So let's get back to the book. He said, it's not like plowing barren ground. So barren ground means like, I don't know, the first thing I think of is like rice fields. I live in South Louisiana, and like it's just all crusty and solid like cement. And he said it's not like that at all. At first, it's going to look that way. You probably think that you're barren ground. You think that you've lost it all. Time has passed you by. You woulda, shoulda, coulda. You shouldn't have done this. You could have done this. I mean, bro, you can replay that all day long, but that ain't going to get you nowhere. That's the barren ground kind of mentality. But in Nightingale says it's not like it's barren ground. You got riches in there, but they're down deep. But they're somewhere in all of us. That's what's really great is you are 100% safe and 100% guaranteed when you go on a of discovery, when you go on a journey of self-discovery. You are. You're 100% safe. It is going to feel scary. It is going to feel like at times when you get down deep in the darkness of your soul, it's a little scary. But you're in good company. You're going to be okay. And so there may be some emotions that's going to pull at you heavy, and it's going to yank you around a little bit, and it's going to scare the shit out of you. Keep digging. Keep digging. And if you'll do this and just remind yourself, man, there's gold in there. There's something in here. I got to find it. And the effort is what's going to help you dig that up. And he said that it's in all of us, though. It's way down deep, but it's somewhere in all of us. Where is that somewhere for you? He continues on, and unless a person can find his true self, this is my favorite part, unless a person can find his true self, he will never really know what it means to be fulfilled. Right there. Unless a person can find his true self, not the bullshit Instagram self, not the self that you just prop up in front of everybody else. You get into the limelight and then you're just this dick behind the scenes. No, unless a person can find, there's a sense of contentment, of peace about that. Be some rough waters at first, man, but you get out there to sea, man, it gets calm. And there's a sense of peace and liberation and freedom and control when you find your true self. And until you find that, he says, you're never going to know what it means to be fulfilled. A fulfilled life is in the 5 areas of your life: your faith, your family, which is also relationships, your fitness, mental fitness, spiritual fitness, financial fitness, physical fitness, emotional fitness. So in your fitness, in your finances, okay, you don't want to you want to work for the future. You don't want to borrow from the future all the time. And then your fulfillment. And the fulfillment part is your professional and creative fulfillment. So the things like you go out there to work and you do some creative things. There's some things that, hell, dude, if it's model cars you like to put together, just a little bit of escape. If you like putting puzzles together, playing Sudoku or whatever the hell it's called, then do that. If you like just working out, sculpting your body, then that's cool too. Like whatever it is, you like to just go run, go do it. But, until you find your true self, like the fulfillment is not out there. It's not in accolades. It's not in a fancy house. It's not in a car. It's not in how much money you make. Bro, some of the most miserable people have some of the nicest things and endless money. And they're just not good souls, man. It's because they're not truly fulfilled. They haven't gone on a journey of self-discovery. And until you do that, you'll never know what it means to be truly fulfilled. And I'm telling you, and this is something I can tell you this, but you can only experience it. But you can just go on it in bite-sized increments every single day. Now, this is how he ends it. To wake up in the morning eager for the day to begin. Okay, so let me back up. And unless a person can find his true self, he will never know what it means to be fulfilled, truly fulfilled. To wake up in the morning eager for the day to begin. Like when the alarm goes off, do you wake up with dread? Bro, I wake up, yes, I'm tired at times, but I wake up so eager because, and part of the eagerness is like, I love the morning times. I love early in the mornings. And so I love enough time before anybody else gets up. It's 5 a.m. when I'm recording this. And so I love the fact that I can come into my office alone. It's quiet. Well, of course, the dogs are with me. And then I just stare at the shelf and just a book pops off the shelf for me. And then I don't know what I'm about to read. I don't know what I'm about to share. I don't know what I'm about to write. I have no idea. But I'm eager with those things because it's just something new every single day. And so eager, for the day to begin because I can win the day before noon. I get my writing in, I get my reading in, I get my working out in, I sit with myself a little while. I get these things done. So no matter what happens in the day, man, I'm already good. And to end reluctantly, a day that has been filled with interest and challenge. Like you get to the end of the day and you're like reluctant, man. You're like, oh, man, it's already over. And he said, because it's been filled with interest and challenge. And it just made me think, like, how was yesterday? Was it filled for you? Was it filled with interest and challenge? What interested you? What were you curious about? What piqued your curiosity, but you didn't go down that rabbit hole because you just rushed off to something else? You got the FOMO. You're going to fear of missing out on something. Like, what piques your curiosity? And maybe, and this is the thing that I want you to ask today, like I want you to end the day fulfilled, like a filled up day. So what piqued your curiosity? What was the challenge? I mean, why do we want smooth roads all the time? It's not like I want to go into World War III every single day, but like what pulled at you, man? What was a challenge? What was something like scared the shit out of you for a minute? What was the thing like you didn't have the answer and you were just, your nuts tightened up. You're like, oh, whoa. And it just scared you and you figured it out. Okay, what was the challenge? And he said, and then I love this. So let me back up. To end the day reluctantly, a day that has been filled with interest and challenge and which has taken some of the best he had to give. Like how much of yesterday with interest and challenge, like took a piece of you? Like, that's cool. Like you laid it on the line. It took a piece of your ass. It took a piece of your soul. It took a piece of your heart. But it didn't take it for nothing. It gave you something back in return. A deeper sense of self. See, that's what I say. Like when you get stretched, man, with interest and with challenge, and you just chase this thing, and that's what I want you to do today. I want you to chase it. I want you to end the day and be like, bro, how filled up is this tank today? Is it 100% full? Am I just like, I'm just wiped out, but I'm also re-energized because I'm just like, I feel like I'm alive. Got my ass kicked a little bit, but I'm alive, okay? I'm in control. I'm learning things. I'm curious. I'm stretching, okay? And I'm discovering myself. I'm discovering new things about myself. That's everything, man. And when it took a piece of you, but it's going to give back a deeper sense of self, a deeper sense of discovery. And he ends that. The most interesting journey a man can make is that of discovering himself. You make that journey, man. It's 100% voluntary. And this is what I say. You don't need a lot of time every single day. Y'all know how I preach. You wake up at a set time. When I say a set time, it doesn't have to be a butt crack of morning. Like some people work later or whatever, okay? Whatever works for you. I say just enough time for you to take care of you without getting pulled by your family, the rest of the world, blah, blah, blah. Like take care of you first. And just if you want to follow my ritual for now until you can find your own, just segment 10, 15 minutes to read. Or if you like to listen to something, I would say read because it kind of helps your focus. Then write about it. Like, what's your take? What's your riff? And then share it. Like you can share it on your Instagram stories if you just want it. Communication's key. I can tell you this, like the sharing part of it, not only does it help me learn deeper, but it also helps me communicate better too. So that way, I just did it, the you-knows and uhs. But the more I do this, the more comfortable I get with it, the more I can continue on doing it. And communication's key. So when I go into certain areas or meeting, some elevated people, I can communicate. I can stare. Okay, I can stare in that lens right there. I can stare in this mic. Let's go. I'm not like, it's key. But it's part of communication. But man, the most interesting journey, like you wish you could go travel somewhere else. How about traveling within yourself? Okay. And again, it's going to be kind of scary at times, but it's also going to be beautiful because you're going to experience. Again, I can tell you this, but you got to experience it for yourself. You're going to experience and have a sense of peace about you and a sense of, okay, I'm in control of my life. I don't know what the day is going to bring, but it's nice to know that I'm discovering new capabilities about myself. It's nice to know that I've discovered some toughness about me, some creativity about me, some curiosity about me, that I've pushed myself in rooms that at one time I didn't belong in. And even today, my mind says, oh, you don't belong here. I'm there. I'm there. So that's what I want to share with you today from Earl Nightingale. I don't know what the hell I'm going to read tomorrow, but that's the intrigue. So I hope you have a fulfilled life, but also a full day. So at the end of the day today, I want you to just ask yourself, like, how filled up was it? And if it wasn't very filled, you was kind of 50%, man, you kind of avoided the world because you just kind of wiped out a little bit. It's okay. The awareness is the number one thing. And then tomorrow, make it a new challenge. That's what's beautiful about this. Like, we're eager to take on the day. We're prospecting for gold within. And it's going to take a piece of us, okay? But it's also going to give us back a deeper sense of self. All right? Thanks for sharing this show. Please help grow it. Share it with someone who needs this episode. Remember, keep it simple, keep it moving, never settle, stay tough. Peace.